Hi friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and this is my very first REVO knives review, and this is the Berserk. It is a frame lock knife. We've got steel on one side, G10 on the other. That's for 3 different colorways. And then you can get the same knife with steel on both sides for being the heavy-duty version. It's also a tiny bit heavier than this knife. So you've got 5 different options for this knife, which is quite a good thing. We've got quite a cool blade. I'm really liking the shape of this blade. Decent steel. It's a budget knife. The manufacturer sells it for $60 on their website. That's US dollars. It's a little bit less at White Mountain Knives, but you can also get it in... I'm not that good at flicking those. I'm just learning the finger flick underneath. You can also get it at integrityknives.com. That's a Canadian store. They have them in stock as well. They actually only have this one color in stock right now, but they've got other colors, and you can get 10% off at integrityknives.com, just like you can at White Mountain Knives with coupon code CCE. So if you're in Canada, Integrity Knives. If you're in the United States, White Mountain Knives, or directly from the manufacturer. So if you're interested in a funky yet very cool and decent quality, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute, maybe better than decent quality, we'll see. If you're interested in a knife like this, stick around. The full review's coming right now. So there's your first close-up look on this knife. I think it looks pretty cool. Here's the box. It's it says REVO on the box. It's got magnetic flap. There's their website, revoknives.com. And there's the information about this specific knife. And the color, Berserk G10 Black. Stonewash blade. Well, it's black stonewash or black wash, that some of us call it. Handle color black. Country of origin, China. Yes, they've got most of their knives made in China, but not all of them. This company is a new brand for BRS, actually, and which make higher-end knives. And some of their knives are made in China. Some of their newer models are going to be made in North America, in the United States, or other places. And so it's a brand that's doing their best to get the best quality they can. And this knife is actually quite good quality. It's not as low as you might have thought when I first gave the introduction. I don't try to overpraise things in introductions. I don't like being sort of clickbaity or anything. So here you go. Nice knife. Let's do a size comparison with the Ontario Rat, the Rat 1, like we often do. It's a similar size on the handle. If we line up the pivot pins, which I like to do, handle size is very similar. It's a tiny bit shorter. Blade size, very close to the same length, except for the fact that the cutting edge is significantly longer. Comes back a fair ways there. It's a good size knife, but it's not overweight. It's a good weight for its size. It's got a couple of features that are kind of cool, and it's got a very dramatic blade, at least in my opinion. You don't see knives in this price point with such a dramatic blade that often. So we've got a high flat grind. That's a high saber grind. You know, if a lot of knives are that high, and that would be a full flat grind, but it's a high saber grind. We've got a swedge up here. There's a bit of a step down right here. I'm not going to call this a clip point. I'm actually going to call this a modified standard or straight back knife because it comes straight along. It just has one little step down. Some people might want to call this a modified Japanese tanto because of the way the cutting edge comes here at the beginning and then changes. It is a version of a tanto, but with the belly on it like this, that's more of the genuine Japanese style tanto. So call it a straight back Japanese tanto variant if you want to. We've got no swedges on the sides really, except for this one right here. And it transitions actually. It comes down to come thinner. If we can get it nice on the screen here. I don't know if my there we go. It did focus. So we've got the full thickness, and then it comes down here, and then it actually comes back thicker a little bit. It's got a lot of dimensions to it. This blade design Wasn't something that they just knocked out and thought people might like. They actually took the time and made it quite nice. 2 holes. You can actually get your finger in there to flip it open. Nice jimping along the spine here, which is not overly aggressive, but it's aggressive enough to have a good feel, good grip. Straight edge here and nice belly here. The thickness behind the grind on the belly up the front is a little bit thicker than here. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit thicker than I'd like in both places, but it didn't stop this knife from performing quite well. 9CR18 MOV stainless steel. Rockwell hardness on that is usually around 59, 58, give or take. It can go higher, it can go lower. I don't have equipment to test what REVO did on these. This is the steel side here with the frame lock arm. You've got some nice texture on here. You've got a little hex nut here for the pivot pin. So it's only on one side, so it's not free spinning, obviously. Let me do it this way. I like that this cut here is not that wide. If you look at a lot of Kershaw knives that are at this same price point, or CRKT or other American brands, this is an American brand. They've got really wide, almost like well, not quite an 1/8 of an inch, but sometimes it really looks like it. Big trench cutting through there. I don't like that. I like it when it's much closer. So this is probably using wire EDM technology to get that cut out. We've got a deep carry steel pocket clip, which quite nice. 2 Torx screws go in there. They're T6s, 2 T6 screws here, and T8 here for the pivot. Pocket clip goes on the G10 side as well. So that's quite nice. We've got jimping on the belly here on both the steel and the G10 side. There's jimping here on the frame lock release, so it's easy to get a grip on that to release the frame lock. We've got 2 choils here. We've got your standard finger choil for your index finger, and then we've got a forward finger choil. And if you take a good close look at this right here, you can see that there's a little bit of a raised section right where my fingernail is. So it's like a scoop and then another scoop. I don't understand that. Well, I do understand it. It's the transition between the frame part here and the frame lock arm here. I would have preferred, though, if it was just one smooth radius in there. I don't know why. It just feels kind of odd to me. It doesn't feel bad at all. It doesn't get hot or nothing like that. Not a problem. It's very nitpicky. I would just like that to be smooth through there. That's one little change I'd do. The forward grip, very comfortable, secure. You're up nice close to the cutting edge right there. There's this choil behaves like your sharpness choil as well. And the next nitpicky thing is to sharpen it right there. Even from the factory, you can see that they sharpened up the plunge just a tiny bit. It's another tiny nitpicky thing. We've got a nice big chamfer here that helps make the hand very comfortable when you're gripping it. The main grip here gives you a lot extra reach. So that's good. On the G10 side, you've got some milling here to mirror this side a little bit. And then you've just got a flat side and the chamfer here. I don't mind that at all. For this price, I would have liked having a little steel plate in here, like a black washed one with 2 screws in it, just to help that smooth out a little bit. But, that's a minor thing. We've got aluminum backspacer here. It is black on most of them. So you could easily take that apart and, scuff it up and paint it any other color you wanted to. Aluminum takes paint quite well. This jimping all over this knife is very well done. It's not overly aggressive, and yet there's enough to get a good grip on it. The writing on the knife, we've got the brand name right there, REVO. And on this side, nothing until you get to the pocket clip. and there's the R there. You know, I wouldn't have minded if there's no REVO there at all, and they just put an R here for REVO knives. I would have liked that they would have put the steel type on here, though. I do like it when a knife has the steel type listed on the knife somewhere. How well does it perform? Well, this one, the lockup, is just where I want a brand new knife to be. It's totally engaged. I have to tell you what I've told on other videos already. I did initially get this knife from Integrity Knives, and let me take this out. They sent me this one, and the lockup was so early, and it's gotten a little bit later now because I've worked on it a bit. It was so early that when I was using the knife, it would sometimes unlock and the blade would become loose. But it's a very, very simple fix. I just took it apart, and took a file once across the surface of this frame lock arm, and now the lockup has moved a little bit. When I had that issue first come up, I spoke to Integrity Knives, and they said that I should contact REVO, and I've said this in another video. I emailed REVO, and the CEO of REVO contacted me back. It said, we'll send you a new knife. It was so easy to deal with, and that's because you're talking to an American. American customer service, it really does make a difference. They immediately sent one out to me, and he even said I could keep one. So I'll be keeping one, and let me see, how far into this video are we? Well, we're over 10 minutes in, so I can tell you now, this is for people to watch deeper into the videos. This one, after I sharpen it up to my near mirror finish, will be a giveaway. And to get into the giveaway, keep watching. I'll tell you the details at the end of the video. So the deployment of the knife blade, quite good. Middle finger here, or index finger, and it flips open. This is going to sound strange to some of you, since I've been a knife reviewer for almost 5 years and a knife enthusiast for very long. I just learned that this year. You know, like Lee at Love Them Knives, he's a super flicker. He just knows how to flick these things like crazy. I just never had that skill, but I'm developing it now. So smooth pivot, because we've got ball bearings in there. Lockup on this one, perfect, exactly where it should be, like I told you already. No blade place, side to side, up and down. Alignment, can't ask for more than that. It's pretty much right, spot on. How does this knife perform in the pocket? Some knives just don't have good pocket clips and they don't climb over very well, but this guy, it climbs over on the edge right away and slides right down. It's not overly loose. It's certainly not overly tight. And, you know, it's just got a little bit showing there. So there you go. Now, let's, I should have done that on the camera, right? Now let's go over all of the dimensions and that information. While that's on the screen, when this is gone, I'm done talking about the specs. 156 grams, 5.5 ounces. The sharpness from the factory, see on this edge here, it was like 100 bests, and on this edge here, it was 175 bests. So they sharpened this edge very well. This edge didn't get sharpened quite as well. So this was very sharp. Sharpening from the factory is not bad. The cutting edge length is 9.89 centimeters, 3.89 inches. The blade length from tip to the closest spot on the G10, 8.58 centimeters, 3.38 inches. The blade thickness is 3.68 millimeters. That's 0.145 of an inch, just under 5/32 of an inch. So you got a nice sturdy blade here. The blade depth, since it's straight both ways parallel, this number right here is 3.57 centimeters, 1.41 inches. The thickness behind the grind, 0.61 millimeters, 24/1000ths of an inch. So I might like it a little bit thinner. Over here, it's 29.5 thousandths of an inch. So it's got a very strong tip. It's not so thin to be super delicate. The grind angle, I had measured this one before I'd done my notes, but now I didn't measure this one yet. I'll put it on the screen. This edge has got these angles, and this edge has got these angles. 20 degrees per side is very good for 9C or 18 MOV, and I will sharpen this to 20 degrees per side for whoever wins this knife. Some people call it a mirror finish when they get my finishes, but I don't like to brag too much. And if you look under a microscope, it's not mirror, right? So I just call it a near mirror finish. On with the specs. The handle length is 11.94 centimeters, 4.7 inches. The grip area, it's sort of a rounded number, about 10.5 centimeters, about 4 1/8 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.27 centimeters, 0.501 of an inch, so half an inch thick. The handle depth is largest right about here, 3.1 centimeters, 1.22 inches. The knife depth when it's closed, it's largest right here, 4.1 centimeters, 1.61 inches. And the total length of this blade and handle, when it's all deployed, 20.5 centimeters, 8.07 inches. So yeah, it's a good size knife. How much does this cost? Well, White Mountain Knives has got all 5 different colors, the 5 different colorways, but they've got different prices. So they start at $51.99 US, but remember you get 10% off on that. And it goes up from there. REVO Knives directly from the manufacturer, it's $60 US. Integrity Knives in Canada has it for $84.99, but again, you're going to save 10%, which is $8.50. Not bad at all. The features on this, I really like the unique blade. The tip is strong. It's not designed for prying anyways, but it's a good, piercing style tip. You've got a lot of cutting edge. I suspect when you're sharpening this knife, it's quickly going to turn into just a rounded bevel there. And that might even happen when I sharpen it. The holes here, they're not too sharp. They're chamfered, so it's easy to get your fingernail in there to flip it open. Not a problem. You can do, slow opening using your thumb, except for whenever I try to do that, I end up doing this. My finger is pushing on the frame lock arm, and then it can't get open because I'm holding the detent locked. On the left hand, it's easy, because I'm not pushing down on the frame lock arm. So if you like to open with your thumb, you're just going to have to teach yourself not to put your finger on the frame lock arm, and then you can open it with your thumb. Not a problem. Or you can flick it, of course. And most certainly you can do two-hand opening. There's a lot of usable edge here. I like that. Comfortable grip. And you've got 2 grips, which is very nice. And both are comfortable. Reverse grip is comfortable. Even the reverse grip on the forward edge here is quite comfortable. It's a very usable knife. Pinching up to do delicate work, that works as well. And because that gets a little wider right there, that just works. Good designs on here. I don't know who the designer is. It's REVO internal design as far as I know. The jimping I've mentioned, it's good jimping all around. Deep carry pocket clip is right and left friendly, so that's a good thing. I've already mentioned the cons, and I'm being quite picky, and the cons are all in this area basically. I would like this to just be a nice smooth radius instead of, a little radius and a hiccup and a little radius. And I'd like this choil here, this forward choil, to go up just a little bit further so that the sharpening doesn't come up into the plunge right there. Those are very minor things. It's not a big deal. All of the different colors are black wash on the blade, except for the all gray, heavy duty version. It's got a regular stonewash. It's a nice knife. I like its looks. I like the options on it. I will say I wasn't too keen on the green when I first saw it, but it's been growing on me. So there you go. How do you enter the draw to win this knife? Leave a comment down below. 1 comment only. If you want to leave more comments, your name will be disqualified. That is before October 16th. You can comment again after October 16th. because I'm going to do the draw on the end of October 16th. And you have to do the honor system. You have to share this video with someone somehow. Share it on social media, share it somehow, send somebody an email with the link. I don't really care how you share it, but I want you to share this channel with somebody. So there you go. But don't talk about sharing it down below. Don't talk about the giveaway down below either. I want this giveaway to be done for people who watch the video at least halfway through. So I thank my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it very much. And the draw for the winner for October will be in the next few days. Like I said, I've got my family coming over this weekend. I'm recording this on Thursday, but I don't know if I'll have this edited before the weekend or after the weekend. I don't know when I'll have time. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.